There's one thing that Mishra loves the most, and that is new artifact creatures. Okay, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to a Wednesday night Vintage League. I have been saying that if you do well with your deck, I will play it on my channel, especially if there's a bunch of cards that I've never played with before. This is Brandon's newest version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Workshop Aggro. So, he recently 5-0'd with a list and then top 8'd a challenge with a list and played it at the NYSE qualifier or trial or whatever you call it down in New York City. This is the newest version of that deck. This is a aggro workshop deck. This is a sphere resistance workshop deck. But it is actually going back to an old style here, being very aggressive and playing some Arcbound Ravagers, which is exciting in and of itself. But even more exciting is the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cards. That's a mouthful. We got Roadkill Rodney here. That is a 2/1 Death Touch for 2 with Squad 3. And remember, you can pay Squad costs with Workshop mana. It also has, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a mutagen token. My recollection of mutagen token is tap 1 and it put a 1/1 counter on a creature at sorcery speed. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think that's what it is. And then we also have Big Mother Mouser here, a 4-mana artifact creature robot who is a 0/0 with 2 1/1 counters as it enters. Whenever it attacks, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. And whenever it dies, create a number of 1/1 colorless robot creature tokens equal to the number of 1/1 counters on this creature. So we are going to go in on a little bit of a +1/+1 counter themed artifact aggro deck here. We're getting +1/+1 counters on our Patchwork Automaton. We can obviously sack and modular using our Arcbound Ravager. We've got a Walking Ballista we can put counters on. We've got some Market Back Walkers that can put counters on. That's a card that we tried when Aether Drift came out and never really found a home. And then we also have access to Stonecoil Serpent, the X counters mana sink. So yeah, a little bit of everything here. We're even seeing some Phyrexian Revokers as additional disruption, maybe stop some pesky artifacts. So kind of an interesting list, a little bit of everything going on here, which I think is actually totally fine because they all kind of fulfill a similar role, which is, attacking and ending a game aggressively inside of the very, very potent, Wasteland, Sphere Resistance, Thorn Resistance, Thorn of Amethyst, Trinisphere, Lodestone kind of Sphere Shop shell. So, it looks like it's got some new cards, but it's more of a classic take on Workshops than anything else. Sideboard, we have some Leyline and some Mindbreak Trap for some combo decks. Only one Masticore, which I'm interested to see, because I think Masticore is one of the better cards that this kind of deck has received in the last few years. Though I guess if these creatures are just large enough, they don't actually really care about removing null rods or whatever. So, though Masticore can attack and remove a Serenity before Serenity goes off, and I think that's actually quite a big deal in the current metagame. We do have some null rods for our Jewel matchup, maybe our Raker matchup, and we have some Scrawling Crawlers for that as well. So there's a lot of things getting covered here. You might have also seen there are more Mishra's lands in our deck. We have some Mishra's Factories for extra attacking creatures. I'm interested to see if that is a card that holds up in our year 2026. So this should be pretty fun. Please forgive me if I miss a lethal or two with our Ravager Ballista shell. It has been It has been many years since I've tried to play a Ravager deck in Vintage, so we're gonna have to, brush off our shoulders here, get rid of the dust, and see how we can do in this Vintage League. I am happy to announce the dates for high-stakes, proxy-friendly Vintage in 2026. The legendary NYSE returns to Long Island in New York on June 6th. This $500 entry fee tournament will pay out 8 pieces of unlimited power. The Oklahoma Land Run returns in 2026 on July 10th through 12th at the Reed Convention Center in Oklahoma City, Play Friday Team Trios, Saturday Legacy for a Mox Sapphire, and Sunday Vintage for a Mox Emerald. Event links can be found in the description below. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. Okay, welcome to round 1 versus a Lurrus gamer. What do I have? I've got 2 drops. I mean, this is what we signed up for, right? If they're on combo Lurrus, this is a bad hand. But if they're on just like frog stuff, maybe this hand's fine. Like, I can't mulligan this hand. I have a workshop and 2 drops. Like, that's what we came here. They mulligan, so maybe it's fine. All right, just a flooded strand. Another workshop. So there's no problem with me just slamming a workshop down right now. I'm going to go with a patchwork automaton first, see if we can't build out some counters. All right, we have a resolver. Resolvers are good. Okay, do we have a surveil land? We have a surveil land, and it's a sewers. That makes me feel like we are up against frog stuff. They kept on top. We do have a revoker for frog, which is something. But then the revoker also does get bowmastered. But we could always sack our ravager onto it. So we have some game. Ooh, opponent is passing with a bowmaster mana. I see. Interesting draw. Interesting draw. I'm thinking about hitting this sewers. Is that too greedy? Is that too greedy? I could just play 3 artifacts. I'm thinking about hitting the sewers pre-combat. And yeah, I guess it's fine if they kill my Ravager. Well, I guess I'm not attacking if they just play it. So I can just post-combat play a Ravager. Yeah, I'm going to go for the hit the sewers because I don't think they have an artifact to, mana to make Saga tokens. And then I can always like Revoker Needle as well. Okay, so there's the Bowmaster. They can't hit Automaton or it gets warded. So we did dodge the Bowmaster. And they played it right away. So we can make a thing an attack if we want. Which we actually can do because if we just play Ravager, they can't actually block because I could just sack the Ravager itself to go onto the Patchwork. And then I would just... It'd be a pretty solid trade, I think, for me. So I like this, actually. I think my opponent should have, let me... I guess if I pass back priority to them, then I could still do the same play. So it doesn't really matter. We're going to do a lot of talking about priority today with Arcbound Ravager back in the picture. All right. So they are going to go for the Ravager for Bowmaster trade, which I think I'm fine with. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Would you be fine with this trade? It feels okay to me. Cleans up a bunch of things on board. I like it. Okay, basic island. So I like establish our Mistress Factory, Revoker Lotus, and play Ravager. Let's get a Ravager first. This Patchwork's gonna be really hard for them to deal with. And then I think I want to name Lotus so the damage is a lot less bad off of Saga Find here. Now they could... There's some ways this can go badly, but... And then let's get in there. And we can use this Ravager to protect our Revoker from a Bowmaster. And then next turn we can stand up as Factory too. So, I mean, it looks okay. Highland Ponder Keep. Welcome to the stream. We're having a good time in Vintage, that's for sure. All right, so is my opponent going to play a frog? Whoa, 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 Whoa. Okay, that was not what I expected off of blue and black mana. We've got a Baleful Strix and the best art Baleful Strix too. That's quite good against Patchwork Automaton. Oh my god. What a okay. That was unexpected. I was getting ready to have a bad time against Psychic Frog, but and a Vexing Bauble, sure. We have a Ballista, actually. We have a single Ballista in our deck. Workshop down. All right, so I'm interested in attacking with my non-patchwork creatures. Unfortunately, we've drawn a land on every turn in this game, which is not ideal. I'm gonna try to hide. Do I want to hide this Academy? Do I even care about hiding this Academy? I don't think I actually care about hiding this Academy. Oh, I care if I draw a Karn Great Creator. So I guess I will go Ancient Tomb, stand up my Mishra's Factory, and attack with my non-5/5 creatures. And they just get in there. Okay. 5 damage is good here. So... Alright. Bauble down and Black Source down. And no land drop? That's a big win for me. It's a big win for me. We got a Roadkill Rodney. Okay. So let's see. If I stand up my Mishra's Factory, I have 1 mana floating. I make 4 mana. It's a 5 total mana, so I do get to squad up. All right, let's do it. Let's go turn on Mishra's Factory. Play Tolarian Academy. Squad my Roadkill Rodney 1 time. All right. How do you feel about a squatted Roadkill Rodney opponent? You can force it now that the bauble is gone. We did not force it, so we got 2 Rodneys. I'm attacking. So let's do some math here. If my opponent blocks Patchwork Automaton, I can eat 1, 2, 3 creatures and deal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can only deal 8 damage. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. So I think we just do a normal attack. Then what if they just block Ravager? Is that bad? Yeah, but do I really want to lose 3 things and not kill Strix? That doesn't seem like a good idea. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Because the getting them to 1 involves the Strix living and us losing 2 death-touching attackers. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with the same attack as last turn. I think it's more conservative. It makes more sense to me. Yo, what up, Wheeler? Welcome, Raiders. Welcome to Vintage, the healthiest format in Magic, says Wizards of the Coast. We are playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle aggro shops, and we are playing against Baleful Strix. So, I mean, Roadkill Rodney versus Baleful Strix seems like a balanced format to me. I'm going to let this trade happen, and I think I'm going to put the counter on... I think I'm going to put it on the Revoker, just because, like, Bowmaster, kill Revoker, play Lotus, do something is probably their most, like, saving line. We'll see. We will see. Why is it a former Cube All-Star? Did they take it out of Cube? This card seems sweet. I don't know. Looks like my opponent is dead. They can have a Bowmaster here, but that is not enough, so... All right. Get in there, team. Squad up. Let's go. Okay. That is a nice little start. So, we're playing against Baleful Strix. We're playing against Lurrus. Blue-black Lurrus, probably. Do we want Dismember and Masticore to maybe beat a Frog? That seems like a thing we might want. Definitely don't want Crawler, so I'm happy we don't have Crawler in our deck. So we need to find 3 cards that we don't like. What cards do we not like? Maybe we don't like Chalice, but maybe Chalice on 1 is actually quite good here. I actually think Chalice on 1 could be quite good. Thorn, I've never been a huge fan of. Probably Karn comes down too late. And then I like these other choices still. So do we want to keep Chalice for Chalice on 1? I think there's a lot of value there. Which walker? This market back walker? Okay, I'm down. I don't need a market back walker in my life. I'm in. All right, let's give this a shot. And we don't, for anyone joining us from Wheeler Stream, we don't want to bring in ley lines or Graph Digger's Cages against Lurrus. That's not attacking at the right angle. Think of it as playing up against Delver of Secrets. That's kind of what we're playing against right now. Argenta Masticore is actually just a vintage all-star. Protection from multicolored is quite strong. 5/5 First Striker is really big. And then being able to kill, it's a way colorless decks can kill Null Rod, which I was really feeling the pain when I was doing my video with the Card Market League, because the Masticore wasn't seeing play yet when Carnforge was around. I don't know if it was printed yet. It might not have been printed yet. So there wasn't really actually any good answers to Null Rod in that deck. Yeah, and you can play it off of Workshop Tomb for 5 mana. This hand seems fine. Reasonable. All right. What a beautiful mix of cards we have here. And my opponent gets to see F6. Looking at my hand for free. I don't know about that. All right, so my opponent gets to know exactly what we're working with, so they get to maybe plan around their counter magic, which could be problematic here. I was hoping maybe we could go, you know, Black Lotus, Ancient Tomb, Black Lotus, play around Spell Pierce, play a Crucible of Worlds to play around Wasteland. That's kind of what I was thinking about. Can't strip mine this fetch land, so I'm really worried about Spell Pierce is the card I'm the most worried about, and I do want to deploy artifacts. So I think for me, they don't know about the strip mine, which is like the downside of Probe. I've drawn a card that makes my Crucible a lot stronger, and they don't know it. So I'm going to play Ancient Tomb. I'm going to play Lotus. This is all playing around Spell Pierce. They could have Consigned to Memory as well. Spell Pierce and Consigned to Memory. Okay, so if they have a Consigned to Memory and a Wasteland, it makes a lot of sense for them to go after this Lotus. Maybe not. Maybe you just always go for the Crucible. But it's pretty bad for me because it makes it really hard for me to play Sphere of Resistance because... Oh, just Ancestral Recall. I see. Okay. Because I could get locked under my own Sphere. One other thing is, if I play Sphere of Resistance, Crucible costs 4 and we can't play it this turn is another thing. So there's a lot of nuance into sequencing for Sphere Shops. I know that maybe they're just looking for more information before they like choose. I'm not sure though. Like you know almost all the cards in my hand, so you're probably just gonna go for the payoff. Like maybe they have a negation and they're worried that I go for Roadkill Rodney, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Oh, my opponent said 1 second. I need to look up what the fuck a mutagen is, which is fair. I also had to look up what a mutagen was. So I'm going to go with white mana Crucible because my opponent doesn't know about this strip mine yet, so they might let the Crucible resolve. I'm really worried. Like, I want to use my Lotus this turn because if my opponent untaps a Null Rods and I lose my Lotus, it's a pretty big deal. So like my opponent might, they know 4 out of 5 cards here. They might let this resolve. They don't. So now I'm a little worried. If I play Sphere of Resistance and my opponent wastelands me, are we in a good place? I do have a Strip Mine to hit their Tundra, so it's not the worst. But I would have to make sure that I draw more lands. And our deck has a decent amount of lands, but not like an overwhelming amount of lands. So what's the other option? The other option is I can play a 2/2 Stone Coil Serpent or play a 2/2 or play a Roadkill Rodney, and he gets Bowmastered. Seems pretty bad. I think I am willing to engage in this Sphere Resistance attack here. We'll see, though. Could come back and bite me. Okay. So they can't play a Bowmaster or a Frog here because of Sphere. We do a Workshop. I am going to take a turn and Strip Mine them for sure. Looks like they might be holding up a Swords to Plowshares. And we're going to go to the next turn here. All we can do is play a 1/1 Stone Coil Serpent, and that's not a very good number. Your Stone Coil Serpent has to be at least 2. 2 fetch lands, okay. A Jet. So I can't kick a Roadkill Rodney right now. I can play a 2/2 Walking Ballista, though. Or I can play a 4/4 Stone Coil Serpent. And we think they have Swords to Plowshares, so I'm more interested in playing this 2/2 Walking Ballista. All right. So is my opponent going to just send a Swords to Plowshares at this Ballista? No. They're going to go for Sewers. They kept on top, which means they probably found a land. 7 cards in my opponent's hand at the moment. Ooh, Workshop Saga is really good here. They can hold up Bowmaster, Counter Magic, and I don't have a Wasteland at the moment. Vexing Bauble. Not a very good card with Sphere of Resistance. Not a very good card. Let's attack with our Walking Ballista. If my opponent has a Bowmaster, it's better if my Walking Ballista gets Bowmastered than my Roadkill Rodney. And I think I'm going to deploy the Roadkill Rodney because I don't like cantripping off Bauble into Swords. My thing. All right. This does mean I can just get... I could even get Dazed. Let's see. My opponent is consigning my Roadkill Rodney. They are consigning my Roadkill Rodney. We are in trouble here. I mean, my opponent had Ancestral and Force, so it's always going to be a tough one. No Wasteland for the Urza Saga is a problem for sure. That's like a decent reason not to use your Strip Mine, but it's hard to play around the one of Saga. When there were 4 Sagas, I don't think I would ever Strip Mine there. But with only 1 Saga, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to not try to attack my opponent's mana with a Sphere in play. I think mutagen tokens are okay. They do a thing. That's not bad. I wouldn't consider them to be amazing, though. All right. So what's opponent? I'm opponent. If I was the opponent, I'm looking to make some tokens. Though there is a downside to that. The token, if with no artifacts right now, gets immediately sniped by Ballista. So they might like have a Swords in their hand. Wow. Seal of Cleansing. I see. That is a card we did not want to see. That's a pretty good guard against us. We drew another Sphere of Resistance. All right, I'm going to go with Cycle this Bauble while I have a little opportunity here. Caracas. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna deploy another Sphere of Resistance. I think I'm lost. I think this game is lost. For those keeping track at home, I don't have a lot of faith in this spot. Oh, I should shoot them. Sorry. I just clicked through it. I don't know that. If 2 damage matters, then it's my fault and we lose. Just, it was a weird timing. I got got by a couple weird timings today. Black Dex 99 hit me with like a random activation in my attack phase that I was just not ready for. There's a couple other ones. I'm just like expecting. I had a hole breacher. I had a hole breacher, and I was just like, "What is this timing window?" I was like, it didn't make any sense. I got. All right. So is my opponent going to make a construct now, or are they going to do something else? That's the question. No construct. Okay, so we got through an Urza Saga with no constructs. That is something that makes me happy. The problem is, if they can ever get to a Lurrus, they just loop Seal of Cleansing every turn, and we probably die. We do have a Caracas for the Lurrus, which is going to help. And we have double Sphere, so... Okay, construct is the choice from the opponent. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. And then, if they have a Soul Ring... They have a Skull Clamp? With the Baleful Strix? Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Okay. Our opponent is cooking. I respect that. We've seen Baleful Strix. We've seen Skull Clamp. What a day. I'm just going to go with Stone Coil. I think a full 7 is fine here. Can't get dazed because of Sphere, so... And then it's gonna, I think it's immediately getting swords because of the way my opponent floated mana earlier. But if it does, we get some life total back. Man, they're hitting a lot of lands. There's a scrub land as well. That is abnormal. That is abnormal. Blue, white, swords, oh no, that's a Mox. Okay, 4/2 construct. White, bye, Lurrus. Long goodbye. We didn't gain any life. And we're gonna die. That's not good. Ooh, good timing, Roadkill Rodney. Good timing. How much does this cost to squad 1? 7. 7 is a lot, but it is enough. We can do that. We can go to 2 life here. All right, we got some Roadkill. Opponent still has many cards in hand and has a Skull Clamp on a construct that we have to block, so... they could also, like, Swords and Bowmaster and we would die if they have enough mana for that. Buy Lurrus, play Lurrus. But I have a Caracas. So they have to wait till next turn where they can play Lurrus. Oh no, Lurrus costs 5. I don't know. Maybe this stabilizes. 2,000 biddies. Thanks, Black Dex. That almost makes up for your Dredge Keeps against me. Serenity would be quite good. You think they play Serenity if they have Seal of Cleansing? Oh, they're drawing 2. All right, get in there, Mr. Rodney. Opponent draws 2. Probably want to do that before buying Lurrus, but I think they thought they might be able to play it. It's getting swords. 3 mana swords. 4 mana. Voice of Victory. Oh my lord. That is also bad for me. All of this is bad for me. All of this is bad. That kills me. It just makes some dudes. Wow. All right. Opponent has a deck over there. This is not your normal Lurrus, Esper Lurrus deck. They got tech. Yep. That one kills me. Here, you can draw some cards before I die. All right. So, do we still want Masticore and Dismember? Yeah, I think so. We definitely don't want Thorn. Still don't think we want Karn. We did see Bowmaster game 1. So, Crawler's out still makes sense. Let's just run it back. run it back with this 60. It seems reasonable. That was... I mean, that was an Ancestral game, right? It was a probe Ancestral Force game. That's a tough one. We put up a pretty decent fight anyways. Yep. That is a keep. Yep. Mm-hmm. That one does the thing. That one absolutely does the thing. So our sequence here is important. I think it's going to be Mox, Chalice, Soul Ring, Trinisphere with the most bait. No, I think I'm going to try to use the Chalice as bait for the Trinisphere. All right, didn't work out. Oh, don't miss that. All right, I'm down to just slam it here. No, what do we time walk? Okay, 4 cards left in my opponent's hand. All right, so now we can actually play Sphere first. Okay. All right, so we have a 1/1. It can be a 6/6. It won't be, but it could be. I don't think historically this is going to be enough, but we'll see what happens. Now, opponent is in a rough spot. If they fetch a Surveil land, they're opening themselves up to top deck Wasteland. But they do probably need to hit lands, so there's some value there. No fetch. Underground Sea. Still can't play a 2-drop because of Sphere. Can't play a 1-drop because of a 0-drop artifact because of Chalice. Another land. Not good for me. I am going to make this Ravager larger. If we want a chance to win, I think we need to eat some artifacts. We can go with Demoxin. Unfortunately, I just don't think this is going to be enough. Oh, there's also the problem where their Surveil land is not white. So if they want to hold open white spell, that's another problem. Vexing Bauble. All right. So would we rather draw a random card, or would we rather eat it for extra damage? I think I'd rather draw a random card. Can't cast that one because of Sphere. Could eat the Sphere and cast it, but that's not a very good play. Let's attack, and we'll play it next turn. Opponent could still have a Swords on my Ravager, so. Doomwake raid as well. Damn, we got the whole crew in tonight. We got the Wheelers. We got the Doomwakers. Yeah, those are words. Welcome, Doomwake aficionados. Do you have a name, Doomers? Do you have a chat name? You're a full-time streamer. You might actually have a chat name. Doomwankers. I like that one, too. Welcome. We're playing Magic's favorite format, as per Wizard of the Coast ban restricted articles. Vintage. The healthiest format in all of Magic. Interesting. So our Chalice will counter our Black Lotus here. Let's go with a Lodestone Golem. It's going to turn off their swords, so we'll see if they swords the Ravager in response. Obviously not true. Have you read the articles? Have you seen what they say in those articles? This is what they say. They say no changes. Vintage is more or less what we perceive as the ideal state of an eternal format. It has to be true. All right, lodestone down to consign to memory. Get in there, Ravager. Our clock is... Yeah, I still don't want to lose anything from our... to get this Ravager better. And we're playing Arcbound Ravager in 2026, so you know we're having a good time. Roadkill Rodney. Roadkill Rodney. We can squad up our Roadkill Rodney as well. I think this is a post-combat Roadkill Rodney. There's no real reason to play it pre-combat. I think eating the Moxen has been quite good for us in terms of this Ravager. We are making progress. Unfortunately, I can get consigned again, but there's not much I can do about that. At least we can pay for it days. Oh, right. The squad is in. Okay. As long as my opponent doesn't go land balance, we're probably in a decent spot. Are we in? We're in. GG's. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shops. 1-0. Oh my god, they have 2 Seal of Cleansings. The Chalice on 0 won the game. Not me, the Chalice on 0 won the game. Why would I name a Chalice on 1 when my opponent plays 4 2-drops? Wait a second. Oh, they must have just drawn the cruise for turn, right? Because they could have forced the Roadkill Rodney. All right. Solid win. Welcome to round 2. Randy has hit us with the Q snipe. Let's see what he's bringing to the table. No Lurrus. What are we bringing to the table? 2-drops. Many 2-drops. All right. Keep. That's what his fans asked to be called. What? I didn't name them the Doom Wankers. This is not on me. Also, it's not him. It's just his viewers. I think I'm supposed to lead Sphere Resistance here. As much as it hurts my creature deployment, we are on the play versus an opponent who does not have a Lurrus. So I think... Oh, I should probably have led Ancient Tomb, though. That was a mistake. I should have led Ancient Tomb. I was doing too much yapping. Leading Ancient Tomb would make me a little bit better off against Wasteland here. Oh, that's okay. We'll see. Okay, Misty Rainforest from the opponent. So they can force us, and we can only deploy one of our 2-drops this turn, which is not ideal. Ah, that helps. That helps. Not really helps, but it will help later. So I am interested in Patchwork first. And I will take 2 damage to play my Mox. And then next turn we can play 2 spells, which I think is important. Or we could squat up our Roadkill Rodney. You never know. All right. We've got an Automaton going. We've got a Sphere in play. Is opponent surveilling? Let's see. They are hedge mazing. That is a bad sign, chat. That is not good. That is that indicates the presence of Oath. Oh, yep, that's an Atraxa. Okay, that is bad. Oath of Druids is not the card you want to see when you're casting Roadkill Rodneys. All right, a Ponder maybe, an Ancestral, a Vexing Bauble. That's fine. No problem with that one. All right, so I need this game to end. Ooh, that is an incredible draw. That is a great draw. That might be the best draw in my whole deck. I think I'm going to go with 2 cards of deployment here. Let's go Arcbound Ravager and one of our Rodneys. Because I want to get maximum damage in, and I'm definitely hitting this green source. That was the best draw in my whole deck. All right. This might be enough. Now they're pretty far away from casting Oath. Unless they, like, rip a Lotus. So... We're not even going to activate our mutagen token, though. No, we're not even going to get there. One sphere, one wasteland is enough. You know? The classics still hit. You can surround it with roadkill Rodneys and big mother Mausers, but sphere resistance wasteland is still good enough on its own. All right, so Oath of Druids from the opponent is going to be an incredibly bad matchup. We do have 2 cages, which is actually a low number for this kind of deck. We might want to bring in some traps on the draw. Scrawly Bally is not unreasonable here, and Argenta Masticore can be a good deterrent for Oath if you play it ahead of time. It's also pro multicolor. Could get an attack in through an Atraxa. I think, what do we want to take out? That's the question. Karn on the draw, maybe? Chalice on the draw? I think Big Mother Mauser is a little sus. I actually kind of think all of this... Maybe the Ballista is actually kind of nice, but the walkers... I feel like the slower cards are not what we want here. I kind of forgot we even had Niddlesist in our deck. We haven't seen one. Let's try taking these cards out and bringing these in. We might consider Null Rod on the play, but because the way the Oath deck is currently configured, it's actually like a lot of Moxen and Show and Tells, so the Null Rods can be decent. Yes, but like it's all about tempo, CRK. It's all about tempo. This is a tempo hand. I like this. I mean, if we don't die on turn 1, I guess. Probe. F6. All right. 1 Mox, 1 C, and an Oath. And a Time Walk. Okay. Now, if they just go land, Show, and Tell, obviously that is a bad place for us to be in. If they go land and they play Thoughtseize. Okay, so they're going to take away my Grafdigger's Cage. Or you can take away my Sphere. Or I guess you could take away Lotus as well. Away the Grafdigger's Cage. Do you have an Oath as well? No, you have a Vexing Bauble. That... We can technically play these through a Vexing Bauble if we get a Sphere down. That's going to be... I guess Caracas is quite good against Atraxa as well. Alright, well, we don't have a lot of choices here. I don't like wastelanding them. If something bad happens, then something bad happens. But we kind of need this mana, so... If they Show and Tell, we can at least put a Caracas in, and that's pretty reasonable. They kept the card on top. Unfortunately, I don't know that Caracasing a Show and Tell to Atraxa is going to win the game, but... Yeah, but we could... It's not the end of the world. Both of Druids. Okay. Well, we are going to play it a little slow. Our Sphere is going to resolve here. Because they have a Vexing Bauble in play. So then next turn, we can get out some fast mana. I'm going to have to dodge, like, Boseiju really hard. I also only have 1 more cage in my deck. So... It's going to be a hard one to win. This is definitely one of the matchups you don't want to see as a aggressive Champs player. Oath of Druids is pretty good against creature decks. Sacking Bauble makes sense. Don't need that anymore. What else you got for us, Randy? Null Rod. Okay, I'm surprised they brought it in Null Rods, but that does answer our Black Lotus and our Emerald, so. I think I will still get these in play, just in case we draw a Tolarian Academy. I don't know that we have a great chance here, but it is still doable. Not ready to concede yet. They already found the Beseiju. That is a... Wait, they Beseiju the Wasteland, not the Caracas? I don't understand that. I don't know that I'm supposed to play the second sphere, and I might not be, but I also don't want to play nothing or a Nettle Cyst, so... I'm interested to know why they Besiege'd the Wasteland. Okay, so here's the question, chat. If we play a Nettle Cyst on this board, what are the chances the two Nettle Cysts are good enough with the Caracas to beat all of their Oath triggers? They've already used Beseiju, which means they have probably max one more Beseiju, one more Strip Mine. But I only have a Cage in my deck. I feel like I have to try, right? Like, if I'm doing nothing, am I really winning from this spot? I don't think I am. Mishra's Factory. That is a true statement. We could attack with Mishra's Factory over and over again. All right, so my opponent gets to Oath here. We have a Caracas. Let's see. So they Oath. They milled over Strip Mine. Oh, they have Gaia's Blessing. No. That is quite bad for us. That is quite bad for us. And they're going to Blessing first. Oh, we got Main Factory. They found a Beseiju immediately. Wow. And an Oko. They can't cast Oko, but they found a new Beseiju immediately. So we can bounce this one and attack for 5, but it's probably just not enough. That was not good variance for us. Opponent milling over Blessing and then immediately flipping the Beseiju. Damn. We can't equip our Nettle Cyst, so it's not like we have a fast clock. It still costs them a whole turn, doesn't it? I mean, maybe they'll hit our workshop again. You're right. You might be right. Maybe we're supposed to do it right away. Killed my token, equipping it to factory. I'm unclear on what that means. Hey, look, there's our factory. All right. I'm gonna just deploy this anyways. It might be a 7/7. I mean, if they have Gaia's Blessing, though, unfortunately, this is just never gonna work. Oh, I guess now they can force because they can pay 2. Okay, you're right. We should definitely have bounced in response. Don't think we can win this game, though. We would be really far from being able to attack with this factory, though. We have the 2 more turns down. I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to wait. I could be convinced. Yo, you watched the metagame video? Appreciate that. There'll be another one at some point, probably before EW. So I'm thinking we bring back in the Chalice on the play, the Karn on the play, take out the 2 traps on the play. And then I don't think I want to bring in the Null Rod. I think we're just going to run like this. All right, what did I draw? I drew Hot Garbage. Let's try again. Much better. Much better. What am I doing with this hand? What am I doing? I have 5 mana. I could go Nettlecyst Sphere. It's too hard to blind a Revoker here, and the Lodestone's not going to stop Moxen. But then I can't play the Lodestone on the second turn. Unless I draw another mana source. Could it be that I'm just supposed to bottom the Lodestone and go Workshop Mana Vault, Nettlecyst Sphere, and then I'll have Strip Mine Revoker on the next turn? I think so. I think so. Is there a combo? No, they're just creatures you can cast off of Workshop. Why does there always need to be a combo? There doesn't always need to be a combo. You can just have good old-fashioned 2/1 Death Touchers. All right, we've got the Sphere and the Nettlecyst deployed. We have got backup Strip Mine Revoker, so I'm okay with this spot. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a whole lot here. Ooh, Cage is nice. I think I'm going to play this to player. I mean, if they daze me, is it even bad? It's like not even bad. Kind of want to resolve, though. All right. Name a non-land card. Normally, I would say Oko, but we have a Sphere Resistance in play. So I think I'm interested in naming Black Lotus as a way of like the most possible mana coming down. And then I'm attacking for 4. Not bad on turn 2. That's a big Delver of Secrets. Orchard. They're 1 turn away from being able to Oath. But if they tap out for Oath, we do get to cage them. Boseiju is a land. So you can't name a land with Revoker. We got a Spirit, a Ponder. Oh, God. I love a Ponder. Yeah, give me a token. Let me Wasteland you. Oh, yeah. Ponder is not a very strong card in 2026 vintage. Unrestricted for a reason. I think I'm going to hit the Trop over the Orchard. Giving us Spirits is not bad. If we can win this matchup, it's a hard matchup. It'd be a nice one. This is a fast clock. 4, 7, 8. If we play a cage. All right, they chose to shuffle. Let's see what we draw. Another Wasteland would be great. Argentum Masticore. That is not remotely castable in our current situation here. Definitely playing the cage, though, to increase the clock. Cuts off a lot of their outs as well. Gonna Strip Mine. And, I mean, one Sphere plus Wasteland just seems like enough. The Turtles win again. 2-0. Not bad. I think my opponent lost connection to the game while conceding. Oh, here we go. Welcome to round 3. We've got aced across the table. Last seen playing Doomsday. Our deck should have a pretty good Doomsday matchup if they are on Doomsday with Spheres and Wastelands and stuff and a clock, but they are revealing a Lurrus, so maybe not. This hand does not have enough mana in it, so we're gonna mulligan. This hand does. This hand is actually quite good. What do I want with this hand? I want to play Workshop, Pearl, Lodestone, and then follow up with Sphere, Strip Mine. The question is, would I rather have a Mishra's Factory in my hand or a Rodney? I think we need the Rodney as a secondary threat. We have more mana in our... I think the Factory can go. And normally I would say, you know, we don't want to deploy Sphere, Lodestone first because it doesn't tax Moxen, but they could be a very fair Lurrus deck, in which case taxing Moxen doesn't matter too much anyways, and getting this 5-power threat down makes more sense to me. We'll see, though. They could be, you know, they have a Hexing Squelcher avatar. They could be combo-oriented. Here's a Saga and a Ruby. It doesn't cost more because it's non-artifact. Oh, I was certainly, I think, going to buy Lurrus. Okay. So now they can't force us because they're tapped out. So I am going to go with 1 Roadkill Rodney, 1 Sphere of Resistance, and Strip Mine the Saga. They have to read Roadkill Rodney, of course. Any good Magic player has to read Roadkill Rodney. And then they have to go look up what mutagen token is, because it doesn't say on the card what a mutagen token is. But I want to get this down to start getting the mutagen tokens so I can pump our team. And yeah. We're going to Sphere. And we're going to Strip Mine. And we're going to F6. Good value. All right, so how does our Sphere, Lodestone, Rodney Star line up against a Lurrus deck with 2 Moxen? That is the question. This actually lets me kick my Rodney. That's pretty sweet. So let's attack, because my opponent can force my Rodney. So we'll see if they make a play before. We do get a mutagen token. And then let's squad up. Squad up my Roadkill Rodney. I would like 2 more Roadkill Rodneys. Okay. That's a pretty impressive army. Oh, Tolarian Academy. That's 2 mana. All right. I'm going to use my mutagen token on the Roadkill Rodney, I guess. And then I will attack, and we'll see if opponent has any answers here to my army of robots and golems. They do. They have something. What do they have? They have Flame of Anor for 5 mana, killing my Lodestone Golem. That means they get hit for 7, go to 1, and I get 3 mutagen tokens. Okay. All right, so they took out one of the things that was taxing them. They do need to probably win the game on this turn, or produce a large number of knights with a 4th Aerlingus, maybe. Maybe a Breach combo. Flame of Anor, draw 2. That's a good sign. Roadkill Rodney. All right. Roadkill Rodney. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty solid. So we're looking at Lurrus PO or Lurrus PO-less PO. Like a Jeskai control deck. So if you were to board in against PO with this deck, what would you board? You would maybe board Null Rods. You would maybe board a Mindbreak Trap. You would want to keep Revoker. I still think these like market back walkers aren't great, especially against Swords to Plowshare decks. So I'm probably down to get rid of those. I'm interested in keeping Chalice versus PO. The Stoical Serpents are at least pro Flame of Anor. See, like, it feels hard to trim after this part. Do we even want Trap? Do we even want Trap against their deck? I could see just not playing Trap. Caracas against the Lurrus deck? I don't think so. That doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. I actually don't think the Lotus Golem is particularly good. I'm going to try not bringing in these traps. I feel like the number of hands that trap is good against versus Lurrus PO is not actually that high. I don't have a Hamlet in my deck. You got to name cards we have in our deck, man. All right, we got a Big Mother Mauser and an Arcbound Ravager. That could be pretty good. So this is two counters, and when it dies, you get a bunch of little robots. Trinisphere. Wow. Okay, we got some options here. We have some options here. So we're going to start with some Moxen. And I think we're going to bait with the Sphere. And if it resolves, we'll just play Ravager. And if it doesn't resolve, we'll jam 3-ball. All right, they didn't even consign it, so I'm down to see if this 3-ball resolves. Finger guns? GG's! GG! Oh, yes. Shouldn't have forced my Sphere of Resistance. They could have paid for a force on Trinisphere. Actually, I couldn't even cast Trinisphere if it resolved. All right. Okay, 3-0. Okay, chat, we are now 3-0 and on to round 4 versus Biggest Bird, who has been playing a lot of blue-white Lurrus decks. Our hand is fantastic, of course, and we'll see how it goes. On the draw, though. Good luck, have fun. Tundra, go. All right, I'm going to go with Workshop Patchy Boy. Gonna go for max Patchy Boy value here. Can get dazed, obviously, but I think we need to go for match Patchy Boy. And then we'll go with Mox. See if we get Spell Pierced. I'm a little worried about the main deck Spell Pierce here. I'm thinking maybe don't go Sphere Resistance and just play a Roadkill Rodney or a Market Backwalker. Not a very strong Market Backwalker, though. Not a very good card. I'm thinking about trying to avoid a Spell Pierce here. How much mana do we have next turn? We have 6 mana, so we can still go Mauser and Sphere Resistance. I know that my opponent likes to play fair decks. I'm gonna go with a Roadkill Rodney. It's a little bit of a risk, but I think it's a nice little hedge. It's very likely my opponent is on like a very hard blue-white control deck. So we got a force. We got force on Roadkill Rodney, and our Sphere didn't get forced. Ah, I might be a gamer. Misstep got pitched. Lorien revealed, maybe? Yeah, Lorien revealed. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like we just made a really strong play, though. We got the Roadkill Rodney forced, keeping our Sphere Resistance alive. Meticulous Archive. We didn't get Wastelanded. Now here, unfortunately, we can't really play Sphere and Mauser. If we play Sphere first to play around Spell Pierce, we then can't play Mauser. We can play Nettlecyst though. So I am gonna do that. I am gonna go Sphere Resistance first with the ability to pay for Spell Pierce. We'll turn off Spell Pierce, and then we'll play Nettlecyst. I feel like I've sequenced in a nice way this game. My opponent milled a different Spell Pierce off of Archive. We got a force. Okay, so now that they forced... what did they pitch? They pitched a Wan Chitong. I think I'm still going to play around Spell Pierce and not play Nettlecyst, and instead I will play the Big Mother Mauser. Weak to swords, unfortunately, but... We do have a 5/5 Patchy Boy attacking on turn 2. Delver of Secrets could never. The old Ward 2 Delver of Secrets, mind you. Is our Mauser getting swords? That's a question I have. All right, it is. So Maybe unlikely that they had Spell Pierce at all, but I still think I like our logic and reasoning. They only have 2 cards left in their hand. They kind of need like land swords. Bobble. Crack bobble. Okay, that's a great sign. This is why I think we should be playing 4 Patchwork Automatons. This card is nuts. Trinosphere? Alright. I will play a Nettle Assist. Does this win the game right now if I equip it? No. Sure. Okay. I will play a Trinosphere. Now they can't even swords this Patchwork Automaton. That's just GG. Unless they have like land balance. Our deck is running hot. Our deck is cooking tonight. Okay, so blue-white control. What do we want? Maybe an Argentum Masticore? Maybe a Scrawly Bollies? I think that's it. And then Karn is pretty bad. Chalice on 1, I still kind of like here. Market Backwalker, I just don't think I don't think this card has any business being in the deck, to be perfectly honest. If I could change these 2 market Backwalkers to Patchwork Automatons right now, I would snap that off. I just like, if I'm playing against a deck that has swords, like, do I really want to have market Backwalkers in my deck, you know? This does seem like a good matchup for Scrawling Crawler, though. It's your fault. It's okay. It gives me something good to board out every round. It makes it easier, you know? The Ravagers have been good. The Ravager has been good. The Walking Ballista has been good. So, like, it's not like the whole package is bad. I just haven't really found, like, a great place for Market Backwalker. Because you kind of want it against, like, I don't know, a deck that's, like, trying to go long with you. But those decks are Swords of Plowshare decks, or they're, like, Bowmaster decks. You know, I just don't really see where that card is going to be good. But I could be wrong. I could be just, like, shouldn't be warding it out. It's possible. All right, what do we got here? We've got Scrawly Bolly on turn 1. That seems good. We got Workshop. That's not Workshop. We have Saga and Wasteland. I'm very suspect on these Mishra's Factories as well, but we did have a Mishra's Factory attacking in one of our early games, and it was quite nice, so I think I would rather just have City of Traders, though. Just more soul lands. Ooh, this is an Upkeep Ancestral. Certainly seems like it is. All right, this will be a hard one. Roadkill Rodney. I don't know that our sequencing matters much here. If we get dazed, we get dazed. We get forced, we get forced. We just gotta jam our threats here. See if we can't figure out a way to get this Saga to not get wastelanded. And see if we can support our Scrawly Crawling. An Ancestral from the control deck is scary, but it's not the end of the world. If they have, like... It just really depends on what they draw. Like, if they draw a bunch of flow states, a bunch of stock ups, like, that could be, you know, not that good. But if they draw Tundra Swords, Mox, well, that'll be a problem. So, we'll see. Tundra. Stony Silence. That's fine. We don't care too much about that. Scrawler gets us some more cards. Maybe a Workshop would be nice. No Workshop. I think I like wastelanding the Tundra and playing a Roadkill Rodney. More damage than an Arcbound Ravager, so... If they want to force Rodney, then so be it. I think that's fine. All right, Crawley's getting in there. This is a good spot for Crawley. I like this crawler spot because the cards they draw here don't really matter as much as the cards we draw because they've already overdrawn so heavily. Unless it draws them with swords, in which case it matters a lot. Fetch. But we need the help, so... Because our cards are all bad. We didn't draw a workshop in this game, so Crawley's got to save us. All right, clean up. They discarded a hand size. Mox Pearl. Crawler draws a thorn. Don't hate that. Again, I still need a little help in terms of... Yeah. So let's get an attack first. That's what I'm saying, CRK. Play an aggressive deck. Put it in your sideboard. I'm loving the vision. Things Justin has been saying for the entire time of the existence of the Scrawly Crawler in the metagame. Snap! All right. At least they're not getting an Ancestral off it. Just an Ambush Viper for my Crawly Bolly. All right. So, what are we going to try to resolve here, though? Can't use this mutagen token. I think I want to go Mishra's Factory Nettle Cyst. The mutagen token does buff our Nettle Cyst. They're tapped out of like Spell Pierce right now. I want to put more pressure on my opponent. I don't feel like this Thorn is like going to do anything. It might. I just feel like it's not what I want to be doing. I think I want to be playing as many. Ooh, negation is bad for me though. Pitching Pierce. But I didn't have a better creature play. Like I don't want to play an Arcbound Ravager here, so. And I think Saga just doesn't make sense yet. Especially after they've drawn so many cards. All right. Another Roadkill Rodney. Let's get in for 2. Do you have an answer for my 2? They're going to answer Roadkill Rodney. All right, swords. Oh, they have 2 Snapcaster Mages. All right, so they are going to refill their hand with Ancestral Recall again. I was not ready for the second Snapcaster Mage. So we've played against double Snapcaster Mage tonight. We played against Baleful Strix. What an outing. I have very low hopes for this game. My opponent has drawn too many cards. Do I want to play? I think I want to be able to squad my next Rodney, so let's get a Mother Mouser in, I guess. Here comes Ancestral with Flashback. 7 cards in my opponent's hand. They're almost certainly going to have a Wasteland for our Saga, and then they haven't even played a Swords yet for my Mother Mouser, so it's going to be tough to win this one, but we're trying our best. Maybe we'll draw a Workshop and we'll squad our Rodney. Wasteland, he's here for Saga. They might hit the Ancient Tomb. No, Saga down. And then pass. I assume this is getting swords, and I don't really know if there's anything I can really do about it. I don't have lands still. Double the counters. Ooh, double on attack is kind of nice. 4? It was 4? We're getting in? Ooh, 4. Okay. I didn't expect that. Okay. So I think I should just play a Ravager then. That'll be, I guess, consign on my Ravager. Feels like that's what it is. Oh. That could be a problem. Yeah. It's really hard for me to not cast a spell there, I must say. Okay, 2 mana drain. They've cast 0 swords. They have 6 mana. They could buy and play Lurrus if they wanted to, and then have infinite Snapcaster mages. But they have to block the Mother Mouser if they do that, which is bad for them. So I feel like if they had a swords, they would have swords the Mouser. So maybe they just don't have a swords, even though they've ancestral twice and drawn a card off Crawler twice. What are they paying costs for here? Dig through time? Looks like a dig through time. Oh, that's a librarian. Okay. I see. They draw 1 card and make a 3/3 Wanshitong. They can bounce their Wanshitong with Karakas as an infinite blocks on my Mother Mouser. Until we find a Wasteland, which we have 4 of in our deck still with the Strip Mine. I just can't seem to draw a Workshop to help me squad up my Rodney. I hate drawing the spheres at this point. They don't feel like they do anything. I don't like activating Factory here. We might gain 1,000,000 life off this Mouser at some point. Are they going to do the block in Caracas? Is that the plan? No, they're just letting it go. I don't understand that. I can't play anything that will let me attack for 5 next turn, right? I think I'm just going to deploy a Sphere of Resistance. All right. Maybe they just don't have it. Maybe they just have all counters. Is the 8/8 16/16 Mouser gonna get there? They're paying costs again. Maybe just a delve spell through the sphere. Yep, here's the dig through time. So this just finds us swords for 2 mana, answers the Mouser clean, and we're probably dead after that. I can't imagine at this point going 24 plus cards deep that 31 cards deep that they don't find 1 of 4 swords, right? Surely they find a swords. Wasteland. Lock me under my own sphere. There's the swords. All right. Oh, they took out the land, attacking land. Okay. We need help. We need help. We're currently locked under our own sphere. There's an ancient tomb. Let's go with a 1/1 walking ballista. I think I'd like to try to squad this. No. I need to win this game. Let's just play the Rodney out. I think it just has to be done. Can't force it. There's a sphere in play, so they need to find another swords. Or just a blocker. They can buy Lurrus at some point here. We're fighting through. Our opponent resolved 2 ancestral recalls. We're doing our best. Surveil land. Force gets removed. By Lurrus? Serenity. Okay. That will kill Stony Silence. And then they'll just assume, okay. All right. Maybe I can just win with a Walking Ballista off the top. Like, I have the Walking Ballista, I just, like, slam it. It's always weird to bring in Serenity and Stony Silence. All right, all my artifacts are gone. See if they have any Moxons or if they have a Lotus here and then like Lurrus back something. Oh no. No, 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 no. Bad. I mean, what else could they possibly have, right? All right, so here's our hope in our dream, chat. We draw an Ancient Tomorrow Workshop, and I guess my opponent can just play Stony Silence. I think we have no hopes and no dreams. If our opponent doesn't play Stony Silence, and then we draw a Workshop, and our opponent doesn't have Force, then we play Ballista for 3 and kill them. They brought back Lotus. They brought back Lotus. Okay. All right. There's a hope. There's a chance. There's a dream. It's possible. Things can happen. That's fine. Kind of. Who's our Lotus draw? Maybe they'll crack their fetch. I don't know. They only have 3 cards in their hand. Man. We've just drawn the wrong half of our deck in this. I feel like if we had ever drawn a Workshop in this game, we would have been in a nice spot. All right. I think I just have to play a Ballista, I guess. And hope they forget they have a fetch. And then they use their fetch. We are grasping for straws at this point. The game is about to turn the corner. Serenity unlocking my opponent from their own Stony Silence. Too much. Yeah, they didn't make a move. I needed them to flinch, you know? Come on, chat. Someone convinced them to crack this Scalding Tarn. Because that's the only way this is working. It's the only thing. That's our last straw. You know what our deck needs? Fleet Wheel Cruiser. That's what our deck needs. It needs it needs some Fleet Wheel cruising. It needs some Slash Panthers. We gotta get some haste in here. So if I shoot this Lurrus, does it help me in any way? Not really. Nothing really helps me. I don't know that there's a line out anymore. It feels like it's the end. And by the end, I mean we go to game 3. This Caracas being able to protect the Lurrus is also problematic. Well, shooting the Lurrus on my turn also didn't help me because my opponent had an untapped Caracas. So that doesn't actually help me in any way. I'm playing for my opponent to make a mistake. I don't have any lines that are good for me anymore. Draw a card. Played a ball. All right. Well, they didn't play a Stony Silence out of the yard. What's the plan? Six blue. Six Stony Silence. I see. I mean, they can just replay this, but whatever. At least I don't get attacked this turn. I mean, I guess I could just leave my 2/2 in play and block, but wait, why aren't they using the Caracas? This Caracas has so much missed opportunities. This Caracas has so many legendaries that I could have bounced. This Mystic Sanctuary. Are we Mystic Sanctuarying back swords? Yeah. Yes. That's bad for me. You know, chat, I think we put up a good fight. We did our best. Seven blue mana. I assume this is a big bird, yeah? The biggest bird, one might say. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, Esper's gonna get rolled over by the... Yeah, all right, the biggest bird. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Even covers the Fleetwheel Cruiser, so... I drew the workshop, finally. All right. We put up a good fight. We fought through double ancestral, so it was a good attempt. The challenge on the void makes me less happy if they have serenity. Is there something I can play instead? Not really. Let's just resubmit. We also only have one Ballista in our deck. Not only was there a Stony Silence in play, but we also only had one Ballista in our deck. The Miser's Ballista. All right. I feel like that game would not have been very close if opponent ever Caracas their own thing back, but that's okay. I never really liked 4 Ballista and Ravager lists. Kind of liked 2. This is a hand of Magic the Gathering cards. I can't imagine putting it back, so... I guess this is just Ancient Tomb, Bauble, Vault, Crucible to start. It could be Crawler. I guess it's pretty hard to get Crawler, Swords, and Wastelanded in the same turn, so we could probably play Crawler instead of Crucible. Yeah, I guess it depends on if this Bauble resolves. Opponent mulled to 5. That will help. That will help. We do have 2 4-drops and no way to play them. That's not great. A Bauble opener on the play, though. That could be enough. Opponent's deck is heavily forces dependent. All right, 5-card hand from the opponent. Ancient Tomb, Vexing Bauble. Resolves. Mana Vault. Where's my Trinisphere now, man? I really don't want to give my opponent more cards with the Crawler, though. But I also need to hit land drops, or I can't play the game. So I think we just have to play the Crawler. I really don't want to give my opponent any more cards, but I don't have any mana. So, yeah. Hopefully it's good for me. I think the best scenario would be like we draw Wasteland or Strip Mine off the top and then play Crucible. That's got to be our best case. Basic Island. Okay, I guess I need Strip Mine. I would still take Wasteland Crucible or Saga Crucible. But they can have Consign and Spell Pierce now, so... I need lands. I just need lands. I need lands. I need lands. Not good. Not good. I mean, it'd be worse if I didn't draw the cards, so... But unfortunately, we're just giving our opponent a bunch of extra cards to get back in the game after mulliganing, so I'm pretty scared. They could also just go Tundra Serenity, and we can't win either, so... I don't know. So Lorraine revealed... Oh, Ancestral Recall. At least we got 3 damage, I guess. Not that I think that's great for us here, but... All right. So if it's Land Serenity, we hit them for an additional 6 down to 5. And then on the next turn, we do have some comeback potential. We're still super weak to Tundra Swords. We have no mana. Is this deck light on mana? I feel like it's a little light on mana. Could have some City of Traders in here. 18. I feel like I've played Aggro Shop's list with like 20 and 21. Can't remember though. 2021 maybe? Not sure. Don't know. It's been so long. Well, how many lands did I have in my Metamorph list? That was kind of recently, right? It was kind of... Top 8 aggro shops. 14 creatures. Oh, it's only 17 lands. All right, I'm just... What do I know? Nothing. Nothing. That might also be light, to be fair. Tapped land? Tapped Mystic Sanctuary? That's great news, chat. They're going to clean up. Sapphire would have been countered by Bobble. Okay, that was... Oh, my lord. Okay, Caracas. Okay, that's a land drop. That's a Walking Ballista. That is so good for us. We still don't have like a good play this turn. But my opponent has to answer this board now, and Serenity's not going to do it. They truly need Tundras and Swords. I wish I could play Big Mother Mouser this turn, but I think the answer is a 1/1 Ballista. I'm pretty sure if I play this Crucible of Worlds... I mean, we don't care about Wasteland because the opponent has to answer this board, so Wasteland doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure we also probably should like get Spell Pierce or something. So I think I am just interested in playing a Walking Ballista for 1. Just any amount of damage we can get in is going to be crucial. Okay, so now my opponent's going to 4 off Crawler. And then we're... Oh, man, I mean, this looks good. Like, this is... Unless... I don't think they have Hercules in their deck because they have Serenity, right? So I think this opponent just not hitting a Tundra was the loss. Because Swords is not going to do it because Ballista is 2 damage, right? Swords doesn't do it. It has to be Swords and like Snapcaster Mage to block. There's the Tundra. Serenity. It doesn't do it unless they have... They don't have it. Let's go! The Vexing Bubble was just enough. Whoa, God, I feel like we got real lucky there. They just missed on the Tundra for too many draws. We'll take it. Okay, welcome to the 5th and final round of this Vintage League. We are 4-0 with Teenage Mutant Ninja Ravager Turtle Shops. And we can get a trophy on the play here in round 5. We've got Vexing Bauble and Chalice of the Void. And a Strip Mine and a... You know, I think this is acceptable. I think this is acceptable. No, I think opponent was on a Bazaar deck today. I played against them today. I'm trying to remember what they were playing. Don't remember, though. But the strip mine covers some things. We can lead with Chalice and Bauble. Just play like a Caracas. I think this is fine. Never seen them? Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it was the Black Deck's Bazaar 7-card, double interaction, double Bazaar 7-card hand that got me. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. Traumatized. So if this is not the best workshop hand, but it's okay. Ooh, there you go, Lore. That's nice. All right, 7-card keep from the opponent. Chalice on 0. Caracas and Vexing Bauble. All right, let's see. Hopefully they don't have like Workshop. If they are on shops. Mishra's Workshop. Soul Ring. And for all right, Scrawly Crawly. That can help us. Patchy Boy. So, I could make 3 mana and play a Nettle Cyst. I could make 2 mana and play an Automaton, and the next turn maybe we Nettle Cyst. That would mean taking a hit. But I guess Nettle Cyst also means taking a hit because we're not blocking the Crawler with our Nettle Cyst. We're definitely not strip mining our opponent. We could play a 1/1 Stonecoil Serpent and a Nettle Cyst, but that doesn't seem very good. I think we just want to go strip mine in play, Patchwork Automaton in play. And now we have to, I mean, we're behind. Opponent had too much mana. They had Workshop Soul Ring through our Chalice Vexing Bauble, so we're taking a big shot here. We just have to hope that our creatures are going to be big enough, but they're just not going to be. It's probably just rough. This is why I played the strip mine and not the Tolarian Academy. It can bait Wasteland. Now, I will say, if we can get a kicked, squatted Rodney, that will be very good against most shops decks. They just Wastelanded and go. They have 5 mana and they said go? What does that mean? What can that mean? It means they have all lands in hand? Just like a pile of Wastelands in hand? Well, I think the answer is still... I still have to play this Tolarian Academy out, I feel like. I can't really Wasteland them. Because they must have all lands in hand. But I'm really worried about getting my Tolarian Academy Wasteland, but I don't have a good play. I guess a Stonecoil Serpent on 2 is a good play, right? Like, I can block. I don't even have to block. I gotta just keep it. I want to try to maybe double spell the turn I have Tolarian. I don't know. This might be too this might be too weak, but let's try it. Patchwork. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Ah, so they actually had a ton of Moxen in their hand. And I guess they had I guess their hand was broken, okay. All right, well, I guess they did the job. So here is the extra Wasteland that we played around. So I mean, I'm pretty happy with how we've played this game so far. They only have 3 cards left now. They didn't attack. Okay. I actually think we're in a great spot now. Academy, Ravager, Nettle Cyst, and then attack with Patchwork. I think we're winning now. Crucible. And 11. They have a third wasteland. That's really bad for me. But my board is stronger. Okay. I cast this jet into my stuff. Trigger patchwork. And then attack with my large creatures. Is that the chump? Yeah, okay. I'm in. That works for me. I'm wastelanding. I think we're gonna win this game. Another workshop. I have no mana. So I can't even equip to a different thing. So this is 6, this is 6, this is 3. So they have to block 6, 6. I can attack all, right? 6, 6. Block 1, die. So they have to block 2. Block here. I think I can just attack all. Eat the chalice. Oh, wait, I can just win by eating itself and moving over. Okay, that's fine. They needed to block the other side, not this side. Okay. We won a workshop mirror there. Opponent had a much power. They had a power-heavy workshop-oriented draw, and we were able to win. I have to give credit in that game to my opponent's Scrawling Crawler for giving me the cards I needed to win that game. Couldn't have won without my opponent's Scrawling Crawler. That being said, I think I am bringing in Scrawling Crawler. Do we want Trap on the draw? I think no. It's the go. It helps me win every game. Even when it's my opponents. Trinosphere can go. Thorns and Spheres can go. So I guess I am bringing in Traps. So if I had to keep one of these 8 dead magic cards, chat, which one are you keeping? Vexing Bauble because it draws a card? All right. We don't really have a choice. All of these cards are all so bad on the draw that we just have to board them all out. All right. Maybe we'll trap them. All right. Come on, one more game, chat. One more game. We can have a trophy with Roadkill Rodney and Big Mother Mauser. There's a trap. There's a bunch of dudes in a workshop. I'm in. We can. How good is Big Mother Mauser in the workshop mirror, chat? It's got to be broken. It's got to be busted. I can't freaking trap that. All right. So I'm liking Ancient Tomb into Phyrexian Revoker on Mox Ruby. Because we're going to get wastelanded. And we have to stop this a little bit. Okay, they're tapping. What are they doing? Paying call. You can't tap the Ruby. Oh, Strip Mine. Are you still going to tap for a 2-drop? All right, Mother Mauser time. Let's go. Okay. This trade actually looks really good for me, doesn't it? I feel like this trade is really good for me. I don't understand this. Yeah, that trade's great for me. I'm never going to have another chance to get the stupid automaton off the board. And then I'm hoping that this card just solos them. CRK, you have to accept the fact that I am just simply one of the best players. Out of all of them. Out of 100. What is that nonsense? All right. Am I getting wastelanded? I am getting wastelanded. Ooh, Roadkill Rodney's here. All right. Mauser's coming in. Doubling every time. And this is probably my last spell of the game because I don't have any lands. But Roadkill Rodney is Death Touch. Sphere of Resistance. They can't ever block this thing profitably. It's huge. It's doubling. They're racing. Block. It's a trophy game. Oh, Wasteland. They didn't even Wasteland me. Workshop. No, that means... that means another one. Oh my god. This is the first time the Big Mother's been good, and it is so good here. Roadkill Rodney and Big Mother Mauser team up for the trophy. I can't wait for this screenshot, man. It's so good. Double, 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 attack for 20. Yes. Yes. Winning is fun. Can confirm. Let's go. That is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Ravager Turtle 5-0. Let's drink. Mudslide? Yeah. Yeah, alright, I'm in. Oh my lord. I gotta get this picture too. Mausers. Mausers. All right, chat. That is a vintage 5-0 with Roadkill Rodney and Big Mother Mauser in a Ravager Shops deck. I don't know that I expected a 5-0 tonight, but it was a beautiful one. It was quite the showing. So we were joking early on that, you know, it was mostly Sphere Resistance, Workshop, Wasteland, you know, the normal suspects. But I have to say, in some of the later games, Roadkill Rodney was very impressive, and especially in that mirror, Mauser was very good, and even the Ravager had its time in the shine. So, time in the shine, yeah, time in the sun, shining in the sun, oh, whatever, time to shine in the sun. Did I face any bad matchups? Yeah, we played against Oath. Oath is a terrible matchup. We beat Randy. We played against Blue-White Control. Yeah, I don't think this was an easy league by any means. Quite impressive. So if I were to play this deck again, Cowabunga, yeah, I would cut the Market Backwalkers, and I would play 2 more Patchwork Automatons. I think that's the only change you have to make. I don't like these Market Backwalkers, and Patchwork Automaton is just busted. The card is too good to not play 4 of. That's my aggro shops philosophy here. I do think I want another Argentum Masticore in the board somehow. I don't know how you do that, but I would be interested in another Argentum Masticore in the board. And those are the small changes. I don't know. I probably would play City of Traders instead of Mistress Factory. I feel like our mana base is a little light, and I want to be able to cast all of my spells. We didn't cast any Mystic Forges today. I'm like a little worried about these 4 drops, including Mother Mouser, just because our mana base felt a little light on mana. Those are the things that worry me. But you know what doesn't worry me is a trophy, and that's what we had here. Hope you enjoyed this league with new Magic cards making a 5-0 appearance in Vintage. Check out more like it on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.